Welcome to the Regeneration International podcast.
And here we have one of our organic pioneer from India, Mathew, who has really dedicated his quite long life in the helping the smallholders, and now he's going to share us the story to how to empowerment of the tribal farmers. Mathew, you have the floor.
Thank you, Li Feng. Thank you. It's nice to be sharing from India, all the way from India. I want to share a little bit. So they've been talking about the youth, but I want to share a little bit about small farmers, and not only within the small farmer set. There is a whole set of people who are from the indigenous communities, and these communities face very different kind of challenges. They are a set of people who are not heard. They're not seen also very much because they are not powerful politically, and they're not visible. And so I talk about my work, which is based in the Nilgiris. It's a biosphere reserve. It was the first biosphere reserve in India, and so you have a very rich ecosystem here, because you have flora, fauna, which is very unique to the area. We're part of what we call the Western Ghats, which is nearly really the lungs of this country. And in the midst of all this are also these indigenous communities. They are a set of people who are very small in number. They form a very small percentage even in these hills. And so you have a very interesting scenario, because mountains are usually not very important in a political system. You have indigenous communities who are further not heard, and are never taken up as part of the planning. And when you have people who are collecting forest produce from the wild, really you are talking of a very small minority of people. But what we need to understand is that this set of people are also many times the stewards of our ecosystems. They are people who protect the areas that they are a part of. They understand those ecosystems much better. And so these communities in the past few decades, where they have coexisted very well for hundreds and thousands of years, suddenly their entire systems are being shaken up. Their cultural traditions, are facing tremendous challenges, because the outside set of people are growing and having such an influence. Their moorings in many ways are shaken. And we very easily we use these terms of adaptation and resilience. Sometimes I feel these are terms that we have sort of brought up because it's very soothing to our souls, without understanding what these communities are going through. And you would always talk about that these are processes of evolution, but the processes of evolution is something that is not in control in their hands. It's something that is being driven by an outside system, which is so much more powerful, so much more influencing. And so sometimes they are left in decision making. Choices that they are making are not the most optimum choices. And so how do we ensure that we are able to hear these people, see these people, and to make policies that will keep these communities going? I see sometimes we use this word empowerment, and even this also for me is a term that at times is very difficult to come to terms with, because are we talking about empowerment because we have removed power from them and we're now trying to put power back in their hands? And or is it, are we empowering them for the future? Are we providing them with tools that they are better equipped to deal with the future? Again, two terms that come to my mind, and again, that they are being used so frequently nowadays. Everything that you hear, whether it's from the government, whether it's from the industry, everybody is talking of scale. Everybody is talking about speed of change. But these are small communities. How do we ensure that in this fast changing world outside, that they are still a community that is recognized? It is still a community that is communities that are appreciated. And so I share with you a little bit about the communities that we are working with. They form a very small percentage even in this mountain ecosystem. They used to grow millet for their own consumption. They were collecting from the forest. They used to collect honey, nuts, yam, and many other roots. What was very interesting was that they had a system of barter, which was maybe just 4 or 5 decades ago. And this system of barter is extremely unique because it worked on a very functional basis. You had an item that another community required. There was a functional value to that product, and that surplus that you had, you exchange with that community. What has happened over the last few decades is that we have this cash economy which has sort of bulldozed its way into our lives. And this cash economy now pushes these communities to be able to convert everything into cash and then negotiate with the market. And that at times is extremely difficult for these people. And so, as I see many times, in our scenario, the political systems are also changing. And how do these communities adapt to these scenarios? So we have created an ecosystem of institutions. We have a non-profit which works on development issues with these communities. We have created a producer company which works with the communities at the back end to empower them, to strengthen them, to build capacities for them. We also have created a forward linkage company, which is a private social enterprise, and that is able to try and merge and fill that gap to the market. And so all I want to say is that in this engagement that is there today, that we need to be able to create systems that recognizes these communities, that is able to provide spaces for them, and that we don't lose this biodiversity of culture, language, produce that comes out from these communities. And so I stop here, and we see a small film that has been made a few months ago, and it will show you from the market end how we work with these communities.
Honey harvesting is mainly done by the Kurumba community of Nilgiris, and they do it during the season of April to June.
சார் என் பேர் சின்னசாமி சார், அணில்காடு. அப்புறம் இதுக்குள்ள நாங்கள் அந்த காலத்தில் இருந்து ஒரு 70-80 வருஷத்தில் வாழ்ந்துட்டு தான் இருக்கோம் இங்கே. அதனால நம்ம காட்டு மூலிகை, அது தேன், அது இது எல்லாம் எடுத்து நம்ம ஜீவனத்துக்கு சாப்பிட்டு வந்து வாழ்ந்துட்டுருக்கோம் சார். இந்த கிழங்கு அது இது எல்லாமே. அதனால நம்ம இதை வச்சு நாம் முன்னேறிட்டு அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் ஆஃபீஸுக்கு கொஞ்சம் நம்ம இதுக்கு வச்சுட்டு வாழ்வாதாரத்துக்கு வச்சுட்டு கொஞ்சம் ஆஃபீஸு அது இது கொடுத்து நாங்கள் விற்று இது பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம் சார்.
Honey hunting communities have been practicing this activity for thousands of years. Culture and tradition form very much an integral part of this activity. What this also ensures is that the environment is preserved in a much more holistic manner. that this activity can go on repetitively year after year for generations to come. Hi, I'm Mathew. I'm one of the co-founders as well as the managing director of Last Forest Enterprises. Last Forest is based in Kotagiri, a small town which is in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is a part of the Western Ghats, which is one of the lungs of this country. Today it works along with its sister organization Adimalay. It's a producer company which consists of over 1,600 producers and is able not only works with honey but with many other forest produce.
So at Adimalay we procure produce from the indigenous community from around 3,000 families at 160 villages, and all these produces are being procured, value added and then marketed through Last Forest Enterprise. So the procurement and value addition happens through Adimalay in the community centers where women are working primarily.
So our main product is honey, which we call as the flagship product. We started with honey, and even now honey is what keeps us going actually.
This is one such product where people come back for the product, and there's a lot of advantages. It's natural and it is not filtered. People have been converting from sugar and artificial sweeteners to honey for their teas and for their other dishes, and it has been such a healthy alternative, so everybody enjoys, and it's a great product to sell.
Apart from honey, which is the flagship product of Last Forest, we also value add beeswax. Beeswax was earlier thrown away, but today it is value added into a range of products, personal care products, which is balms, lip balms, soaps, and recently beeswax food wraps.
இந்த 12 பேர் வேலை செய்கிற இடத்துல வந்துட்டு சோப்பு செய்கிறவங்க, லிப் பாம் செய்கிறோம். அப்புறம் எங்கள் ஏரியாவில் கிடைக்கிற ஜாதிக்காய் கிடைக்கிறது, அதில் அந்த மேல் தோல் வச்சுட்டு ஊறுகாய் பிக்கிள் பண்ணுறவங்க, அடுத்தது கேண்டி செய்கிறவங்க. அப்புறம் வருஷத்தில் வந்துட்டு எங்களுக்கு சீகக்காய், பூச்சக்காய், வனமகசூல் கிடைக்கிறதுங்க, அதையும் நாங்கள் வருமானம் ஈட்டிக்கிறோம். அடுத்தது பார்த்திங்கன்னா இங்கே இந்த யூனிட், அதாவது இங்கே வேலை செய்கிறனால நிறைய பேர் அறிமுகமாகறனால எங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் நாங்கள் டெவலப் ஆகிறதுக்கு வழி இருக்குங்க சார். அப்புறம் பின்ன வெளியே போய் வேலை செய்கிறத விட இந்த யூனிட் செய்யும்போது நிறையா வேலைக்கு அங்கேயும் வெளியில் அலையாமல் இங்கே எங்களுக்கு வருமானம் தரவாக இருக்கும். குழந்தைங்களோட செலவு, படிப்பு செலவு, எங்களுடைய வாழ்வாதாரத்தை நாங்கள் பாதுகாக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கோம்.
Last Forest was the Seed Low Carbon Award winner in 2014, and what it did at that point, the grant, it enabled us to expand and build our portfolio. We were able to start looking at the personal care range of products in a much more focused manner. We were able to build a strong inventory of honey, and that helped us to build our markets. As part of its business model, Last Forest ensures that a part of the profits go back to the producers. What this does is it ensures that the communities continue to have a stake in the environment. We've also seen over the past year that there is a set of customers outside this country who are extremely in love with these products. They are able to appreciate not only the produce, but also their purchase ensures that there is a direct support to these communities at the back end. Looking into the future, we are extremely clear that the vertical of exports is going to play a large role in Last Forest's growth.